On today's show, we return to Germany and to the Berlin Templehof airport for round 9 of the 2019-20 FIA Formula E Championship. It's race 4 of the Berlin E-Prix Grand Finale, where Techeetah's Antonio Felix DaCosta is on track to wrap up this season's contest. Then we wind the clock back to 2017 and head to the Newcastle Showground in the heart of the New South Wales Hunter Valley, as we look back on the challenging and entertaining action from the Newcastle International Supermoto. This is Speedweek.
Focus is one of the most important things about being a racing driver. Find the grooves, master your flow. The intense moments where you perform through instinct ultimately set you free.
Yeah, nice one, boy.
You need to clear your mind, feel the rhythm of the track. You have to be at one per car.
And it's victory for DaCosta and BMW!
The long-term goal is to win a championship. It's kind of a fairy tale.
Ambition and hard work.
The first race win for his new team, Techeetah.
Having raced so many years in the back.
Burn up the inside of DaCosta.
I do believe I have the tools to win this championship.
Yes! 3 in a row. Amazing.
It's meant to be, and it's going to be a cool day.
Welcome to the ABB FIA Formula E Championship from Berlin, where an epic season finale is unfolding. Antonio Felix DaCosta is within touching distance of a first Formula E driver's title. But after 2 wins in our season finale, he didn't have it all his own way yesterday.
Vern on pole position. Watch out for 8th place, Antonio Felix DaCosta. And we go green in Germany.
Round 8 in Berlin, and our Formula E heavyweights weren't pulling any punches. First, Lucas Di Grassi and Felipe Massa came together.
Massa spun me, man.
You're a little bit aggressive there.
Before James Collado was delivered a knockout blow.
Unbelievable, he just completely T-boned me.
From 4th row on the grid, Antonio Felix DaCosta had a lot of ground to make up to keep his championship title fight on track.
And that's aggressive.
But at the sharp end, it was Max Günther making the headline moves for the race lead.
Vern takes the slingshot, gets to the inside, he's back in front.
It's all down to the left lap.
Günther gets the cutback, and Max Günther takes the lead.
Robin Fines was the next driver to show Vern a clean pair of heels.
There goes Fines up the inside of Vern. So much more usable energy. The Dutchman is up into 2nd place. He's got 1% more than Günther.
Setting up a last lap showdown with Günther.
Fines to the outside. Does he try and go all the way around the outside? He doesn't. It might be the closest finish in Formula E history. Across the line, the checkered flag. Günther wins.
Yes, guys!
But a 4th place finish for DaCosta means it'll take a lot to stop his coronation here in Germany. His lead is now 68 points over Max Günther in the championship, and a maiden title within touching distance. In the team's championship, Techeetah continue to stretch their legs ahead of BMW Andretti as we head into round 9.
Today's action will unfold on the traditional circuit layout here at the Tempelhof Airport. And ready to take flight with all your action is your commentary team of Dario Franchitti and Jack Nichols.
Mitch Evans lines up in 11th position on the grid as he tries to get towards the front of the field, just starting outside the top 10, although not, because there, empty on the left, is Robin Fries' car. A battery issue means that he won't be taking the start. Then it is Jerome D'Ambrosio in the Mahindra, starting in 9th, both of the Mahindras inside the top 10. And a good qualifying performance from René Rast, only his 5th race in Formula E, but he's starting to get up to speed and out qualifying his more experienced teammate. Alex Lynn starts in 7th place, behind the Brazilian in 6th.
Yeah, Felipe Massa, fantastic job today in the Rocket Venturi, a Super Bowl appearance.
Very good stuff from him. Then it is Nick de Vries in the Mercedes-Benz EQ. He's starting in 5th position with his teammate Stoffel van Dorn down in 20th place. Then we have Sebastian Buemi in 4th on the grid. Oliver Rowland is 2nd in the other Nissan. They lock out those front 2 rows, or the 2nd row I should say, and then it's Antonio Felix DaCosta 2nd, and on pole position it is Jean-Eric Vergne.
Yeah, he's been on pole position the last 2 races. Can he convert it into a win today? That is certainly his goal.
DaCosta just needs to keep ahead of his title rivals, who are starting all the way down the order. Lucas Di Grassi is 12th on the grid, and that is DaCosta's closest rival in the championship. If he finishes where he starts, he wins the title tonight. That's a view on board with Alex Lynn. Here come the lights. And we go green in Templehof. Good start from Rowland. He might get the inside here on DaCosta on the run down to turn 1. DaCosta goes wide on the run down to the first corner. Rowland doesn't fancy sticking the nose in. Then it is Buemi in behind, the top 3 or 4 line astern. Felipe Massa trying to go around the outside of Nick de Vries, but he loses time, and that allows Alex Lynn to go around the outside of Massa. He'll have the inside for the left-hander of turn 3, and Lynn should be able to make that move, and he does. So Alex Lynn up into 6th position, big locker, and Gunther smashes into the back of Oliver Turvey, and that is the end of the road for Gunther. Meanwhile, Vergne leads, DaCosta 2nd, Rowland 3rd, Alex Lynn defending a little from Felipe Massa, everybody else going side by side. Mortara trying to take 2, and he just about manages to avoid hitting Jerome D'Ambrosio, as round the outside goes James Collado in the Jaguar. Vergne leading, DaCosta 2nd, Rowland 3rd, yesterday's race winner, out of the race on the opening lap.
Absolutely fantastic start for Alex Lynn. But these laps are critical, Jack, because this is where you're not regenerating into the battery. Safety car already, you're not regenerating the battery, but you can use energy, defending position, trying to make laps up.
So immediately the cars are slowed down on the opening lap because of Max Gunther's accident. I mean, talk about hero to zero.
Yeah, he just got caught. Everybody stopped ahead of him too quickly, and he couldn't stop in time. He was unsighted. You can see so little from the cockpit of the car. Just watch it, how quickly it all stops. The side by side further up the field. Look for the BMW at the back. I mean,
I think Turvey might have gone into the back of, is it a Dragon or something like that? And then that's what suddenly stopped him, and Gunther had nowhere to go.
Yeah, and I just think, look, 3 wide for Max Gunther. Has he broken the steering? No, everything's okay, but just watch how quickly it stops up ahead. There you go. It's almost...
Yeah, it was a concertina effect, I think, behind Bird. I think Bird basically stuck on the apex, and everybody else had to stamp on the brakes. This is the...
This is going to be an expensive. This is from the back. Yeah, look at that.
Back of Gunther, that was.
Yeah, and you see the carbon fibre bits going everywhere.
So, safety car in this lap. I wonder if Bruno Correa is driving the hardtop BMW, because there are some showers in the vicinity. There are some scattered showers around. It's very muggy here. There's a storm coming. But, yeah, maybe Bruno's decided, I'm not going to be in that convertible BMW when the rain comes.
He's not a silly man. Now, under full Courchevel or safety car, they take about 1 kilowatt hour from the battery for every lap they do. To give you some idea, 52 kilowatt hours, the maximum energy in the battery.
Just quickly on that, Turvey was fighting with Gunther at the start. I think he overtook Gunther after Gunther had passed him. But anyway, green flag racing. We're back underway at the front of the order. Jean-Eric Vergne and Antonio Felix DaCosta out front. Vergne went pretty early, didn't he? But away we go. And he is leading DaCosta 2nd. I always think that you'd want to go as late as possible to use as little energy as possible, to a degree.
I wanted to get away from the guy behind me, Jack. And he's just trying to get a jump on his teammate. And look, Oliver Rowland is looking very close to the back of Antonio Felix DaCosta. Is he feeling brave enough to make a move, though? A time mode activation zone is open, and that has been such a way of spicing up the races and such a tactical part of the race in the first 3 rounds we've had here in Berlin, and all season long really.
Buemi sets the fastest lap of the race, which is a little bit of a... Sorry, so does Lynn, and now so does Ras, which is a little bit of an inaccuracy, because, of course, the safety car came out before the end of the first lap, so naturally the next lap is going to be quicker than that, because they weren't starting the race. But so that's why that's a bit strange. Oh, little squeal from the front left of Antonio Felix DaCosta, and I think Rowland's looking racy this evening. What time is it? 7:10.
This qualifies as evening, I think, but yes, there's nothing to be discussed about it. Oliver Rowland looking racy, 3rd place in the Nissan. You see the field going through. As the race goes on, I expect them to use more and more curve there. Wow. Alex Lynn very close to the back of Nick de Vries.
Our team in the pit lane, Nicky Shields and the gang, reporting a few drops of rain in the pit lane. So that could spice things up a little bit.
A little bit?
Yeah. What? I think this track would kind of be okay in the... Paris got super slippery, but surely here it'll be kind of grippier.
So Paris was an ice rink. This being an airfield, it's designed to have very high grip, but it's coated in rubber. And in the wet, that becomes super slippery. So the drivers would have to use a completely different line if it does rain, as we look back from DaCosta to Oliver Rowland in the Nissan and Buemi behind him.
Attack mode activation is now open. Lots of 4 minutes to use for these drivers. And whoa, there's an attack from Mitch Evans, and Rast is closing him. Just about does it, and that is going to allow de Grassi the chance to attack. That was right on the limit for René Rast there, I would say. And he just about left enough room for Mitch Evans, but I don't think Evans would have enjoyed that one. He now has to fend from Lucas de Grassi, who's running in 10th place, and suddenly Rast has got away just a little bit. Jerome D'Ambrosio outside of the points at the moment.
And the problem right there for Mitch Evans is that he's used a bit of energy to try and attempt to make that pass, as Lucas de Grassi almost runs into the back of Mitch Evans. But so Mitch has gone backwards while using energy as well.
Verne has the fastest lap of the race. There is the usable energy remaining. Lynn a little worse off, as is Evans, as aforementioned. There's a little bit of a gap now from Rast to Evans behind, and that's you lose that little bit of ground, and it's so difficult to close it back up in such a close proximity, in such a close championship. Lynn, the big progressor in all of that. Sergio Techeetah made up 3 places, but in general, it was fairly standard, down into the left-hander.
And look at the bumps. We saw this morning. Jack was describing it, and as it happened, as we see Rast going to attack mode in the Audi. Oh, and I think he hit the back of Mitch Evans in the Jaguar.
Rowland is now reporting rain on his visor. Here comes René Rast. He's in attack mode. Evans goes defensive, and I wondered if I could see rain there for a moment. Into the hairpin they come. It's a very, very warm. There is rain. You can see the rain at that camera at the hairpin at turn 9.
It's going to have to rain heavily though, Jack, because the surface is so warm that it's just going to evaporate with this heat.
35 minutes plus a lap to go. Verne leading, 6/10 ahead of DaCosta, half a second ahead of Rowland. Then it is Buemi, De Vries, Lynn, Massa, Rast, Evans, de Grassi, the rest of the top 10. Gunther's been given a grid drop of 3 positions for the next race for causing a collision, which is...
Ouch.
DaCosta's radio.
Light rain reported.
DaCosta's thinking, yeah, I can see that on my visor.
So Rast still in attack mode. We're on board with DaCosta, and you can see, but it's just that little lock-up from Buemi and Verne in front, but it is just that.
And Lynn takes attack mode, and he made it. And is he going to stay ahead of Rast? He does.
That's good work from Lynn, because he was sort of fortunate that Massa behind him also took it.
Yeah. Now this is again, Jack, just with this amount of rain, it's going to make the black bits that you see that are coated with rubber. It's going to start to make those slick. And the cars are going to start sliding around. Oh, Massa getting very defensive, and Sims trying to pass him. Sims had a big shunt there yesterday, and they've managed to go 2 wide, almost 3 wide.
It's Mortara in the Venturi that Sims is fighting to the outside. Mortara holds the inside line out through turn 10 and holds onto the place for the moment, but they're all queued up behind Edo Mortara in the Venturi. There's an update on the attack mode. You have to use it 2 times during the race. Each attack lasts 4 minutes, and you get a power boost. Sims to the outside of Mortara into turn 1. Sam Bird is getting involved in this fight as well, and they're all dropping away a little bit from James Collado. All over 13th place, and Bird at the inside of Stoffel Van Dorn. Is he going to shepherd him out wide? He is. So Bird gets past Van Dorn up into 17th position.
I mean, Bird and Van Dorn 17th and 18th. Lotter are 16th. Lotter's been on the podium here this week. It's incredible. But the 2 DS Techeetahs out front.
Nick de Vries activates attack mode, sweeps in behind Alex Lynn. So Lynn now up into 5th position. None of the top 4 have used their attack mode yet. Verne, DaCosta, Rowland and Buemi all pulling away a little bit from Alex Lynn behind.
Obviously 5th through 8th have all used attack mode.
So it is so hot here. It's 35 degrees, and it's really going to need a lot of rain to affect the track, as you say, Dario, because it's almost going to melt on impact, as obviously
well,
water
I'll tell you
doesn't
what,
melt.
we might be getting that amount of rain, Jack. Just look and watch how slippery it is. This particularly turn one. Look at the rubber line, the black rubber line. That is what we're talking about with the slipperiness. And if it continues to rain, the drivers are going to start going out wide in the corners.
This result would see Jean-Eric Vergne move up to second in the championship standing. So DaCosta would lead on 155. He'd wrap up the title. Vergne would suddenly be second. And there's DaCosta's friends and family down in the bottom right watching on. It's his brothers in there.
And it's not raining there.
No, it looks a beautiful sunny day, doesn't it?
So this is exactly... Oh, and we see Roland in the Nissan, Buemi in the Nissan behind him, taking attack mode. This is the point. DaCosta's thinking, no, I don't need this. I don't need variables in this race. I want knowns. I've got the quickest car. I'm in second. I'm in a position to win the championship. As we see De Vries again doing in the 17 black Mercedes, doing this late defending that we've seen him do so much in these Berlin races.
Felt a little too early for Nissan. I think it's almost like they thought they were going to get out in front of Lynn, but Roland is behind Lynn, and that could cost him a little bit of time. Oh, here we go. Driver's eye in the rain. Never seen this before. On board with Sebastian Buemi, the Swiss driver, running in 6th position.
And listen to him lifting and coasting, checking his mirrors for an attack as he starts to lift and coast. And there's Massa has been passed. René Rast doing such a good job in the Audi. Alex Lynn up to third. That is quite impressive. He's not got much attack mode left though, and Oliver Roland is not far behind him.
Now, when are Vergne and DaCosta going to use attack mode? Because you can use attack mode sort of like an undercut, like you would come in to put fresh tyres on and gain an advantage, because the Nissans are doing that right now.
Right
so
now, Jack.
Roland is about to hit the lead of the race as he comes back onto the circuit. No, Vergne has more speed and he slots back in. That was like watching an oval race coming off that corner. Look how hard the rain's coming down now. Really treacherous conditions. Nick De Vries has been given a black and white driving standards flag. Immediately DaCosta goes up the inside of Alex Lynn. Lynn tries to hang it on all the way around the outside. Massa sends one in on René Rast, but it is DaCosta who moves up into 3rd place. So Vergne leads, Roland 2nd, DaCosta 3rd. Bang! Crazy far flat move.
Fantastic move from
René Rast. And he absolutely flies past Massa. There's a bit of a squeeze from Lynn. Can't stop Nick De Vries getting through on the run down into the 1st corner in the Mercedes. So Nick De Vries up into 4th position. Vergne leading, Roland 2nd, DaCosta 3rd.
This is what you see from the driver's eye view. This rain now, at this point you're thinking, oh. And if they were on slick tyres, they'd be in trouble. The good news is they're not on slick tyres. The Michelin is an all-conditioned tyre. And Buemi, big chop on Alex Lynn going into turn 6.
Here they come out onto the left-hander of turn 7. Vergne still leading, 4/10 ahead of Oliver Roland. DaCosta 3rd, 3/10 of a second behind. Then it's De Vries in 4th position at the moment, but he's about to run out of attack mode and get overtaken most likely by Sebastian Buemi. The rain is still there. Here's Roland's radio.
DaCosta will have 1 minute more attack mode than you.
1 minute more attack mode, so 1 extra lap, basically, as De Vries runs out of attack mode now. Buemi will therefore be able to get through. They're running at 235 kilowatts in attack mode, as opposed to 200 kilowatts in normal mode. And these darker, rainy conditions really make those halos pop.
Yeah, they do, absolutely. And it's something like 70% is the attack mode is the extra power. 70%?
Yeah.
I mean, that is an incredible difference. As you see the number 13 proud on the right front of Antonio Felix DaCosta's car as he shadows Oliver Roland. I think he's going to not mess around DaCosta. He's going to want to get back in. Oh, and again, Buemi does that chop to the inside. As we see Rast defending from Evans, this has got some more to run, I think, this battle. Tempers are going to start to fray.
Yeah, Evans and Rast had it. Oh, this could be the chance for Evans up the inside into 7. Rast thinks about the outside, but has to bail out of it, and Lucas Di Grassi now will try and take advantage and pass his Audi teammate on the run down into the hairpin at turn 9. Rast, I wouldn't have thought, will fight that too much and just slot in behind his teammate, because otherwise he's going to lose out to the Mahindra of Jerome D'Ambrosio as well. So the red and white Mahindra on the outside of the black, red and white and green Audi. Little nerf in the back from D'Ambrosio, but Rast is through. So Di Grassi 9th, Rast 10th, D'Ambrosio still out of the points, and DaCosta is back ahead of Roland. So he had more attack mode. He managed to get back through, so the Nissan's back to 3rd and 4th as they were prior to the attack mode activation. And Nick de Vries is right in the fight as well in 5th place.
Yeah, this surface looks like it is actually getting wet, Jack, and that is just going to make it that bit more treacherous. This is the frustrating bit for maybe the guys in the Nissans, when they're watching the DS Techeetahs driving away and they're thinking, but they must be over-consuming, but they're not, and DaCosta goes for the lead.
Antonio Felix DaCosta, the championship leader, hits the front, coming down into turn 6. The 13 car ahead of the 27. They've swapped places at DS Techeetah. Was that choreographed?
Are they hoping that the Jean-Eric Vergne will be able to save some energy in the slipstream of his teammate? A lot of people are talking about the effect of the slipstream, and as cold, as much cooler as it is today than yesterday for the race. Look at the surface.
Attack mode will be off in 10 seconds.
As cold as it is, the battery temperature might not be a problem. Look how close the field is.
What a great opening stint this has been. Really, really interesting racing. DaCosta, Vergne, Roland, Buemi, de Vries, Lynn, Massa, Evans, De Grassi, Rast, D'Ambrosio, Collado under attack. Edoardo Mortara to the inside. Collado's closing the door, but he can't close it enough. Edoardo Mortara, the Italian Swiss, forces his way through. Sims and Bird, bang, coming into the first corner, and Sims is now ahead. The Englishmen have swapped places. Sims was on attack mode. Bird has the fastest lap of the race down in 15th position. Sims robustly making his way past. Here's Collado's radio.
Sims behind is in attack.
Sims behind is in attack, Phil Ingram tells James Collado over the radio.
He has 45 seconds left.
And that's the info that you want to hear. Collado is trying to defend from Sims, coming into turn 6, and he's able to do it just about. And Bird's going to try and take advantage of that. Andre Lotterer activates his attack mode. 25.5 minutes to go. Here's a replay of DaCosta taking the lead.
Really, no drama. I have to say, absolutely no drama. No defence from Jean-Eric Vergne. That makes me think it was choreographed. And Jean-Eric's just sitting there.
There was a swap and attack instruction given over the radio, I'm told. So Max Günther has won fan boost. Collado and Sims still fighting. Lucas de Grassi also winning fan boost. Daniel Abt, Stoffel Van Dorn, and Antonio Felix DaCosta, the drivers who will get a power boost in the second half of this race. Sims up the inside. He goes past James Collado, not on attack mode now, but just manages to get through. 3 British drivers, absolutely nose to tail. They kind of came up through the ranks together, although kind of not quite. Anyway, that's
they're both from Britain.
But they were all like similar ages, but they were never sort of like head-to-head rivals, I don't feel. Anyway, 25 minutes plus a lap to go. They're battling over 13th, 14th and 15th positions. Only a second between DaCosta, Vergne and Roland as another attack mode activation for Jerome D'Ambrosio. That is his second. He becomes the first driver to use 2.
So we've seen everybody sort of fighting for a bit of track position. Now everybody's setting up for those last 10 laps. Jack, tyre wear is critical, energy saving, critical, battery temperature. Maybe not so critical today, but it's still a big part. As we see Nico Müller to the inside of the Mercedes. And I didn't expect Stoffel Van Dorn to get passed by the Geox Dragon. Stoffel not having a great day so far in 17th place.
This is a replay on board with DaCosta. And I presume this is that move on Vergne. There is the rival Techeetah, the 25 car on the left-hand side. I think I called it 27 earlier. He was 27 when he was at Andretti right at the start of his career, but he hasn't been that for a while. 25 of Jean-Eric Vergne. DaCosta leading, 24 minutes plus a lap to go. Vergne in second. Look how close this queue is. But we need to see the energy savings, really, because Techeetah up at the front, but with more usable energy. That's how the championship would look right now. DaCosta would win the title, Jean-Eric Vergne would finish in second, and we've never had a team finishing 1-2 in the Drivers' Championship.
And that is the critical point. It's easy to go quick. It's fairly easy to save energy, to do both at the same time, and that is tough. Look at all the information on the dashboard.
This is Jean-Eric Vergne's driver's eye, the helmet mounted right by his left eye, inside the helmet. And look at that sunset. Lovely.
He's not looking at that, Jack. Everything above that wall does not exist for him. He's just focused on the car in front. Look how bright the red light is, though. That's incredible on the car in front.
Right, his energy. Vergne's got less than Roland and Buemi of usable energy. So Nissan are sitting in here looking okay, but Vergne was the one leading the way. So maybe that's why they've swapped them round, to try and match out their energy saving, because we've seen if you're sitting behind the car in front, you can just get a little bit of slipstream, a little bit of tow, that means you use a tiny bit less energy.
Yeah, you can lift off the throttle earlier and still get dragged along in the slipstream of the car in front of you, braking the air for you. Now, I think we worked out when Nico Müller passed Stoffel van Dorn, he's just not caring about energy. He's down at 53%. He's incredibly aggressive. Although we did see this with Felipe Massa in the first round on the reverse direction track. He thought that the race was, say, 40 laps. 39 laps, when in fact it was 40, got caught out at the end and just ran out of energy. We've seen a few cars this year get disqualified for running out of energy on the last lap, and it's been incredibly close. Even with the race winners, how close they got to 0% crossing the finish line.
22 minutes plus 1 lap to go. Big train of cars being headed by DaCosta. The two DS Techeetahs, the black and gold machines of DaCosta and Verne. The collaboration between DS Automobiles and the Techeetah Chinese team, and that is D'Ambrosio struggling a little as he tried to go to the outside of Lucas de Grassi. Looks as though the rain has stopped, sorry, René Rast. It looks as though the rain has stopped at the moment. And there's the little Massa, Evans, de Grassi, Rast, D'Ambrosio fight. Down the back straight towards turn 6 at the Tempelhof Airport for round 9 of the ABB FIA Formula E Championship season. Still 2 more races to come next Wednesday and Thursday. Make sure you join us same time on Wednesday and Thursday as you're watching now.
And you can actually see the extra layout off to the left as the cars exit turn 6, and it's going to change the characteristic of the track quite a lot. As Jerome D'Ambrosio nerfs René Rast out of the way at turn 9. It still looks like it's the surface is mottled, so it looks like it's raining. What does Rast have to say?
Oh, you run me in the wall, guys, honestly.
I'm not sure about that one from René Rast.
I've seen more aggressive than that, and René Rast races a lot in the DTM and has done as a champion. He's used to aggressive driving. And
if you think that was bad.
Yeah, exactly. Rubbing is definitely racing in Formula E.
Antonio Felix DaCosta leading the way. The 28-year-old from Lisbon in Portugal, who was on his way to Formula 1. Career sort of stalled a little bit. Was started racing in the German Touring Car Series. The DTM was picked up for Formula E and has been in Formula E since pretty much the beginning, the second race of the championship. And now here he is, surely looking set to clinch the title for the first time, and to clinch his first title in a long time.
Yeah, and I don't think you can say enough about the job that Antonio Felix DaCosta, DS Techeetah, have done this season. It has been dominant in a season where everybody else has struggled to find any kind of consistency, including his teammate, double and reigning champion, Jean-Eric Verne. That, to me, was just, it's been so impressive, Jack.
Absolutely. Really, really impressive stuff from DaCosta. This race isn't over yet, though. The two DS Techeetahs have a bit less usable energy than Roland and Buemi. Not a huge amount, 1% or so, but that's still enough to cause issues in the closing stages.
I mean, 1% really would allow you to hold it full throttle down 1, possibly 2 straights when the car in front or behind of you is lifting and coasting. So that's probably 1 overtaking maneuver. That's the sort of the differences we're talking about. And it also means you don't have to regenerate quite as hard at certain other spots. So any energy you can put in the bank is going to help you in those last critical 10 laps of the race.
Great to have the driver's eye with Sebastian Buemi. Great to have so many of the drivers taking it up as well. When we first brought it in, drivers were a bit, I don't know, teams were a bit, I don't know. D'Ambrosio was one of the early adopters and some of the other guys, but now Verne's got one in, Buemi's got one in. It's absolutely brilliant. There are the top 2, the DS Techeetahs in the black and gold. And Nick de Vries is doing a great job here to stay with this front 5. He's in the queue for the lead, isn't he, as they come out over the line again with 18 minutes left on the clock.
Nick de Vries, feast or famine season. He's shown, and this is his rookie season, current Formula 2 champion, but he has shown flashes of absolute brilliance. He's had a couple of moments where it hasn't all gone according to plan. And again, if your name isn't Antonio Felix DaCosta, that's the story for everybody up and down the championship. I mean, look at that. Look at the championship. Look at the lead he has.
Yeah. And Jean-Eric Verne coming into this championship, or this race today, is currently lying 9th in the championship. He's 9th right now. if it finishes like this, he goes second.
Which was what Max Gunter did when he won yesterday.
Exactly what Max Gunter did yesterday. Buemi will go up into 4th place. Evans will drop down to 5th because, well, he is in the points actually, running in 8th position is Mitch Evans. Now, De Vries and Lynn have gone for attack mode. So De Vries in particular, I would say for Lynn that feels like a sort of defensive move. For De Vries, it's an offensive move.
Yeah, Lynn did it the lap before. You can see that with the amount of the chevrons. He's got 3 minutes or so left. Nick De Vries, 4 minutes. Problem is, you've got to use the battery. You've got to use the energy in the battery to power that. And here we go, Lucas Di Grassi using his fan bush.
He's attacking Mitch Evans. They come down into turn 1, and Di Grassi finds the inside line in the Audi. So Di Grassi through, up into 8th position now. D'Ambrosio down to 10th. René Rast in 11th position, or perhaps more appropriately, says Doug Ellison, Rainy Rast. Very good, very good. But the top 4 right together. Let's see what De Vries can do as well. He's taken attack mode, but he hasn't really closed the gap back up, has he? There go the Nissans now. They think they've got a gap behind to get out in front of De Vries, and certainly Roland has. Now, that's key. He's got clear air now to try and close in on the DS Techeetahs, and if he can put some good laps in here, Roland, he will leapfrog them when they take their attack mode. He'll then have track position, and it'll be about trying to defend. Right, there go the Techeetahs. There go the DS Techeetahs through attack mode. Does Roland get them? No, he doesn't. Wow, I really thought he would close in and be able to get ahead of Jean-Eric Vergne. He's got to go for it here, hasn't he, Roland? He's got to make a bit of a lunge at some point, or is he just going to sit in behind? The problem they have now is they'll be out of attack mode earlier, and the DS Techeetahs will have an extra lap just to pull away a little.
Yeah, he just could not beat him on the brakes. He could not beat Jean-Eric Vergne on the brakes, Jack. There wasn't enough to get that overlap on the inside. So if the car in front, especially somebody like Jean-Eric Vergne, is on the limit of adhesion, you're not going to outbrake him from that far back. Yep. Although we saw some people try it yesterday with disastrous consequences.
When the lights are blue on the top of the car, you can see them pulsing on the top of Sebastian Buemi's machine. That means they are in attack mode. When they're just normal and black, then they are in regular 200 kilowatt mode. As Buemi onto the brakes, into the left-hander, and then out over the back straight. And Roland just can't quite get involved. Now Buemi came out behind De Vries. That's going to be an interesting fight. Can De Vries hold on to that 4th position? Those top 5 breaking away from Alex Lynn, but that Mahindra has not really been a front-running car all year. So for Lynn to be up in 6th place is a good job. Di Grassi and Massa swapping places for 7th and 8th. You can see on the timing tower there on the left-hand side. No looks fancied into turn 9 this time around. 14 minutes plus a lap to go. Really enjoying this race.
It's about to kick off, isn't it? It's just setting, everybody's settling down for the battle to the finish line. And they don't want to go too early. They go too early, they're going to hurt their tyres, again, use too much energy. I'm surprised, though. You watch the cars coming off the last corner, and we saw some big oversteers yesterday.
Buemi will have 1 more lap of attack mode.
What's that?
You have 1% more energy than Roland in front, the same as Buemi.
So that's Albert Lau, the Hong Kong-based engineer of Nick De Vries, encouraging him on the radio, saying Buemi's going to have attack mode for 1 more minute, and I think this is going to be the crucial minute here, isn't it? This is what happened with Di Grassi and Massa coming down into turn 6, so we're going to get a double overtake at the same time. Here comes Buemi to the inside, and he cruises past Nick De Vries fairly straightforwardly because he was in attack mode. That was how Di Grassi got through on Massa and up into 7th place. Roland and Buemi now in their last half a minute of attack mode with the 2 DS Techeetahs out in front. DaCosta ahead of them.
It's the first oversteer I've seen Jean-Eric Vergne through the kink of turn 7, Jack. The back end stepped out as he's starting to finally push. He's got about 2 minutes of attack mode left, the same as his teammate Antonio Felix DaCosta in front. It just looks like he's trying to now either set up for an overtake. He's going to be setting up for trying to overtake DaCosta. And this is frustrating for Jean-Eric because you'll see Antonio sort of calmly going about his business. You'll see the car not getting out of shape as he starts to burn the tyres off his car. But it's a vicious circle when you light the rear tyres up once, when you wheel spin once. it drops the grip level, and then it's easier to do it again and again. So it's such a vicious circle, and that is the advantage Antonio Felix DaCosta has had, certainly on these Berlin layouts.
DaCosta saying on the radio that the car is starting to shift to oversteer now. So
I think his teammate behind him has already shifted to oversteer. But DaCosta, they can adjust that in the car. They've got controls in the car to try and help them to keep the balance, maintain the balance, grip level front to rear, which is absolutely critical.
So with this dominance at the front from Techeetah, it means that as far as the team's championship is concerned, they are naturally going to extend that lead over the teams behind. They would have 236 points and 123 for Nissan in second place. A huge advantage for them. That would be a margin of 113 points. Here they come into turn one.
This is the point, Jean-Eric Vergne, you cannot attack your teammate in a crazy manner because the championship is on the line. And I'll be so interested to see what the number 13 car in the lead, the number 25 Techeetahs, what they do in these next couple of laps, or actually more than the next couple of laps, how they're going to work this out, because they have raced each other really hard during this season. On board with Buemi in the Nissan.
And that points means that Techeetah would wrap up the champions for the teams and the drivers if they finish like this, which would be a phenomenal achievement with 2 rounds to go. And this is kind of what they did last year. Everyone was super close, 1 million winners in 1 million races in Formula E, and then Vergne just had this little spurt where he pulled away from everybody. Yeah. And then suddenly, oh, he's got a lead of 50 points and he's won the championship. Where did that come from? Same with DaCosta, and it happened yesterday, the last 2 days on Tuesday and Wednesday. Suddenly, oh, was it Wednesday and Thursday? It was Wednesday and Thursday. Suddenly, DaCosta has got a big lead in the championship out of nowhere. So there they are, the two of them leading the way. Then it is Mitch Evans, who we're on board with here. He is up behind Felipe Massa. Massa in attack mode. Then they're behind Lynn, and then they're behind Degrassi. So Degrassi's managed to get past all of these guys up into 6th place.
And Degrassi still has one attack mode to take. He's the one guy of all the front runners. He's got an attack mode still to take.
What's Lotterer's situation behind?
Lotterer on attack.
Lotterer on attack mode is the message to Mitch Evans. Now this is Alex Lynn defending from Felipe Massa. Evans is going to get a good run here through 7 because the Lynn and Massa were squabbling. Massa to the outside, sends it in super late. Lynn tries to just roll off the brakes a little and keep the car in there, and he does. And then Mitch Evans comes through, gives it some jandle, and gets into 8th position. We're on board with Evans now. Oh, Massa comes back out of nowhere, and now we're going to go 3 wide.
Massa is out of attack mode.
I mean, that was Massa just repaying, wasn't it? He was just absolutely out of control on the way into the apex. I think he was a little upset with the move in 9. I don't think he had anything to be upset about, but he, came off the brakes and ran the speed into the corner.
Lynn saying he can't see anything on his dash on the radio, so that's not ideal for Alex Lynn.
Yeah, and I wonder if is it the lights or is it actually the dash has failed? I mean, that's everything for the driver. The driver lives and breathes by the information the car is giving him that he feeds back to the team that tells him how much energy he's either saving or using. I mean, the energy, the workload for the driver is fantastic as Lotterer goes to the inside of Lynn, and Lynn's essentially flying blind now.
Yeah, looks like there's some problems with that Mahindra. 8 minutes plus a lap to go. Lucas Degrassi is now in and out attack mode. Here are the leaders then. They've all concertinaed back up, so even though the Techeetahs could extend that lead through having attack mode for a little longer, Roland's been chipping away. Took 4/10 out of DaCosta on that last lap, Oliver Roland. Buemi's coming with him, and Nick de Vries is coming with him as well. This is the most accomplished drive I think I've seen from Nick de Vries. Here's a swap for the two Techeetah teams, drivers working together here to get the job done.
And that's a little interesting because Oliver Roland, he's not afraid to do a big aggressive pass, and he'll be looking at a couple of places ahead, and he'll be thinking about the podium and a possible win today because the Techeetahs are not getting away from either of the Nissans.
On board with Buemi. Through the left-hander at turn 6. Degrassi still in attack mode, but he's 7 seconds off the back of this five-way fight at the front. So De Grassi's in a fairly lonely race now for 6th position, now that he's cleared Felipe Massa. There's the look. No, Roland on DaCosta really thought about it, wasn't quite close enough to commit.
And DaCosta really had to run the speed in to keep that position, Jack, and then you've got to watch because your teammate's ahead of you. You don't want to run into the back of him. He's across the finish line now. 6.75 minutes plus a lap to go. They're still all behaving. Look at the energy numbers. They're all quite similar.
Certainly are. Verne has the least at the moment, but by, you know, the tiniest of fractions. Roland's still there, running in 3rd place, still looking for his first Formula E victory. Here's the replay of it in the bottom right, and yeah, the DS Techeetahs very much working together. Switch and attack is the message that they're being given on the radio.
And that's not something we would have said a couple of days ago.
No,
They're certainly not working together. As you see, Roland just losing the back just a little bit on the brakes, just snapped sideways into turn 6.
2 second places in his Formula E career, 2 podiums, never finished 3rd before Oliver Roland, but also never finished 1st, more importantly. Great to see him running back at the front with his teammate Sebastian Buemi, all down to qualifying, really. Verne in front, DaCosta in 2nd. Roland in 3rd, Buemi 4th, De Vries 5th, De Grassi, Evans, Massa, Lotterer, Lynn, the top 10. So Lynn and D'Ambrosio are now right together on circuit in 10th and 11th position. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the lead still. 5.5 minutes plus a lap to go. Through the left-hander.
You can see the cars are less agile through turn 3. They're starting to slide about a bit. That's just the tyres starting to get really hot as they slightly overheat on the surface. And all the drivers are starting to push, and where they were maybe just a little bit before, you see the energy numbers on the left. They were just happy to sort of take a little bit of time and save the energy. It's 5 minutes plus a lap to go. It's time for business to pick up. If you want to win this race, if you're Oliver Roland, Sebastian Buemi, you've got to attack the DS Techeetahs. You've got to put pressure on them to use extra energy and to overheat the tyres.
Now we believe, here's De Vries' radio.
Okay, Nick, doing a really good job saving. Doing a really good job saving.
Doing a really good job saving is the message. We believe that Buemi wants to get past Roland because he's got more energy than the Englishman in front. Roland doesn't want to let him go past. There is the EDAMS team in the garage. Is it going to happen this time around? Roland's just been told on the radio to let him through, but Roland is not doing so at the moment, which surprises me a little bit, because the reason Roland was sort of backing off a bit in qualifying was because the team wanted him to crash the car a little bit less fundamentally, and so I'm surprised he's not letting Buemi go through for a shot, but we'll see whether it happens now. Down into turn 6, doesn't look like he's... there it is, I think. Buemi up the inside, and he's up into 3rd place. Now it's the Swiss's turn. Goes in a bit deep, but now it's the Swiss's turn to attack.
And let's see how much he can close that gap. The gap right now, 0.9 of a second.
I completely missed the corner, man.
Now Roland annoyed because Buemi completely missed the corner, and now he's under pressure from De Vries. And they've lost that little bit of a gap they had to DaCosta and Verne in front.
Well, you saw how well the DS Techeetahs worked together, and that was how to do it, and how the Nissan guys did it, that wasn't how to do it at all. That might have cost Buemi any chance.
Yeah. I think De Vries might get a bit punchy here as well in the last couple of laps. Bird is now up into 13th position. There's a look back from Oliver Roland and Nick De Vries behind. 3 minutes plus a lap to go. De Vries coming now at the back of this queue, which is just spreading out a little bit. De Vries has the most energy out of all of them, so I think Roland is... De Vries is in a very good position to maybe get 4th place here, but look how far back Buemi is. That switcheroo didn't work for Nissan, did it?
No, not at all, Jack. And with somebody like Nick De Vries, he's young, he's hungry, he's going to attack. He's really got no interest in the championship. He's not in contention at all. and he will look out. If he can get close to any of the cars in front, he's going to go for it. Still seeing some spots of rain. It's very difficult to see with the light in the camera, but it looks like a couple of spots of rain again. This is perfect for DaCosta. If I'm DaCosta, I'm quite happy sitting here. I'm going to try and manage the gap to Buemi. I'm not going to attack my teammate because this clinches me the championship.
Into turn one. What a commanding performance this is from Techeetah. Absolutely sublime from the French-Chinese squad. Verne leading, 6 cents ahead of DaCosta, third is Buemi. Out onto the back straight. Fan boost from Antonio Felix DaCosta. Now he's got to use it before the end of the race. I wondered if he was going to go for a move there on Verne, just using that fan boost, but maybe just getting it out of the way. And let's not forget, Verne started this race on pole position. The two switched for a bit. They've now switched back. Buemi's getting there. Buemi's getting there for second place. They would still clinch the title, the team's title, if Buemi got in second. Buemi's kind of got not a lot to lose. Now here comes De Vries on Roland for fourth place. He's right behind, a minute plus a lap to go, so we're about to start the penultimate lap. And De Vries, when is he going to go for it? Down into turn 1, or into 9, or into 10, or into 6? Plenty of opportunities.
Yeah, exactly. This might be when a rock meets a hard place with these two guys.
2 laps to go, Nick. Keep saving behind him. He can't last like this.
Keep saving. Good information. He's got a very calm voice, Albert Lau, hasn't he?
Oh, lovely. He was Eduardo Mortara's engineer for a couple of years, and in fact, when Mortara won in Hong Kong, in Albert Lau's home race, so that was a very nice moment for the two of them. Van Dorn has just used his fan boost to get past Jerome D'Ambrosio and up into 11th position. Here we are with Buemi, 2 to go. Buemi forcing DaCosta to cover the inside. Now he'll try and get on the power out of the corner as much as possible, but he can't quite do it, but he's close enough to really fight with DaCosta. Now, if you're Buemi, you know DaCosta is getting the goodness out of the way if you throw anything at him.
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right. You're going to take full advantage of that, Jack. But remember, these guys are still going to regenerate because with 4%, they're not getting around without regenerating, putting the energy back into the battery. You saw DaCosta, as he passed the camera, look to the left to see, is Sebastian Buemi coming past me? The answer is no.
Final lap of the race in the Berlin E-Prix, round 9 of the championship. Still 2 more races to come when we go to a new Berlin layout at Templehof. But Jean-Eric Verne is looking set to win. Techeetah looking set to win the team's championship. DaCosta looking set to win the drivers' championship. Is Buemi going to get DaCosta on the last lap? And look, the team are on the edge of their seats. They're on the balls of their feet, getting ready to celebrate well into the Berlin evening as they come down towards turn 9. Fan boost activated from Daniel Abt as he fights with James Collado. Is Buemi close enough? He's going for it. Sends it. Oh, this is De Vries. This is De Vries up the inside.
Has he missed the corner? Watch for the cutback.
Roland and they're still side by side. I think he really blocked the corner out. Roland couldn't get back underneath him, and De Vries is up into 4th position. Verne, DaCosta and Buemi all into their last percent, and the attack is not going to come from Sebastian Buemi. Here comes Jean-Eric Verne, down towards the final corner at turn 10, onto the brakes, into the left-hander. And on the streets of Berlin at Tempelhof Airport, it is a remarkable achievement. Techeetah wrap up the drivers and the team's title. Antonio Felix DaCosta, the champion of Formula E.
I reckon we should talk to him. What do you think?
I think the team are going to be all over it straight away.
A 1-2, mighty performance.
Jean-Eric Verne then taking the win after 37 laps of racing. Antonio Felix DaCosta in 2nd place, getting the point as well for fastest lap. Sam Bird set the overall fastest lap, but he finished outside the top 10, so the point goes to DaCosta. Sebastian Buemi in 3rd position, Nick De Vries in 4th, Oliver Roland in 5th. Lucas Di Grassi with a good drive to climb up into 6th place. Evans with another good, strong drive up the order.
Massive hugs to his teammate and now champion Antonio Felix DaCosta. Jean-Eric Verne, just quickly, that to me was all about teamwork.
No, absolutely. I mean, as a team, we could not dream of a better day. Obviously, we won the team Constructor Championship. Antonio won the championship. I think I jumped to probably 2nd in the ranking. So yeah, it's a fantastic day. I'm very, very proud to be a part of this team.
Antonio Felix DaCosta, our ABB FIA Formula E champion. How does it feel?
I have no words right now. Just the bad times really come to my mind because so close to giving up sometimes, and thanks to the people around me, I never did. But more than that, thanks to these guys who I've raced with in season 1, and they knew what I could do, even when I was finishing in P nowhere, P15, whatever it is, and they brought me back. So I have no words. Massive thanks to Jeff. He's a hard bone to chew, but he pushed me all the way. He helped me out a lot, and it's also thanks to him that I was able to be so quick straight away in this new team. So yeah, just happy.
DaCosta the champion. Well, they start to clean the track ahead of 2 more races, but there won't be a fight for the championship. Antonio Felix DaCosta, the champion, 156 points. Well clear of his teammate Jean-Eric Vergne. Techeetah with a superb performance. Günther and De Grassi now both on 69 points, with the Buemi in 5th. Evans, Lotterer, Van Dorn, Roland and Bird, the top 10. And in the teams, it's an insurmountable lead at the top. Techeetah wrap up the championship. 236 points. That's almost double of Nissan Edams. Double of Edams would be 242. So huge win for Techeetah. Nissan looking like they might secure 2nd in the championship standings. And now the celebrations with the Moet moment. And I think DaCosta is going to be getting a dousing here. No, the team are getting the dousing. Mark Preston, the team principal, absolutely drenched by Jean-Eric Vergne.
We have a new Formula E champion, but this season is far from over. Join us again in 3 days for more electrifying action from Berlin.
And on the streets of Berlin, at Tempelhof Airport, Techeetah wrap up the drivers and the team's title. Antonio Felix DaCosta, the champion of Formula E.
Coming up after the break, we wind back to the 2017 Newcastle International Supermoto held at the Newcastle Showgrounds.